Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, I'm Mickey Mouse here once again and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Moxie Toys videos. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Mario Kart for the Super Nintendo / Super Famicom for those who lived in Japan. So, last time we managed to run through the Star Cup in 150cc, despite with the actual average run at best. Hopefully we did manage to do this okay. So today, this is it. This is going to be the grand finale of this game's Let's Play, while going through the final cup in the entirety of not only for the entire game again, but also the final cup in the forms of 150cc class. So, yeah, let's hop to it with, of course, the hardest cup of this entire set, which is, of course, Special Cup. So this means that we'll be going through Donut Plains 3, and also Koopa Beach 2, and also Ghost Valley 3, Vanilla Lake 2, and Rainbow Road for the final time. So either way, as you can see right off the start though, as I said this countless amount of times from the past few days or so, I'm going to be selecting Koopa Troopa for as a last cup in this particular Let's Play, because after this though, well, we are essentially done with this entire Let's Play. I know some people seem to say about the fact that aren't you going to show off some of the battle modes of how this game offers us to, you know, just like how the other toys usually done the Mario Kart DS all the way up to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe battle modes and stuff like that. Unfortunately though, that's probably not going to happen, and unless if some toys else can able to do it for me. But either way though, not now though, because either way, aside from everything else though, I think I should probably point things out right away, is the fact that with the entire environment of the battle courses during the likes of in a battle mode in this game, as I mentioned this before, there are about 4 of those battle courses, which they are pretty much in a simplistic name. The actual environments they actually usually takes place between all 4 of those battle courses is that in Battle Course 1 is going to take place in, I would say in Donut Plains environment, and then in Battle Course 2 it's more accurately, I would classify for saying Battle Course 2 is on Koopa Beach or something, and Battle Course 3 takes place in Vanilla Lake, and Battle Course 4 takes place in Mario Circuit environment, because I can usually recognize that Battle Course 4 takes place in Mario Circuit, because if you remember through our Let's Play of Mario Kart Wii, that one of the battle stages they actually includes with that game, Battle Course 4, and recently Battle Course 1 did manage to make its return during the forms of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, specifically for the Nintendo Switch. Not on the Wii U though, because it does retains the lackluster battle modes in the entirety of the entire series. Well, in terms of the forms of the Wii U version as of late, so... Oh yeah, speaking of which actually, is the fact that recently, that Nintendo Switch sales has been super good so far. Like, they actually did manage to pass 50 million units sold, which is very impressive even to this day. And it's also around that time until whenever they did manage to sell the Nintendo Switch for about 50 plus million units, which as a result, Nintendo Switch has almost been out for about 3 years at this point right now, which is, again, super impressive even to this day, because of how the fact that I can definitely see why the Switch is doing so well compared to the Wii U. So either way, not much else I can really talk about this, honestly, guys, apart from the fact that, well, today's day is the forms of the 2nd of February today, in 2020, so as I mentioned this before, this is actually the last video we're going to be doing for Super Mario Kart, because after when this has been done, until when it gets to roughly in March or April sometime, then we can able to do Mario Kart 64, but until when it gets to the point until June or July, that way we can able to do Mario Kart Super Circuit, and then during in September or October, we can able to do with the forms of Mario Kart Double Dash, and we are pretty much due for the set. Well, apart from the forms of the Mario Party series redo Let's Plays that we're about to be planning doing, like 4 of them at the moment. Well, speaking of Mario Party actually, is the fact that recently Mario Party 10 Let's Play, that due to how the fact that Sonic and Piglet did manage to recently tackle for that game back in 2015. Unfortunately though, that particular original Let's Play is no longer there. Probably because I need to able to point things out where I'd like to do a redo Let's Play of Mario Party 10 to able to improve the quality and also the commentary itself as well, and also during the forms of that specific, because I'm just not a big fan of how it just gets like quite a few minutes or something like that, or in this case a quicker time as a matter of fact, but that's probably just me. So I suppose I could able to talk about my final thoughts of this game, because there's not much else I can say, because obviously you guys are already seeing the forms of those tracks before, ever since in 100cc, but of course, as I mentioned this before, this is the final time we're going to be doing these particular tracks, except the fact that it just makes things a little bit more tricky and difficult, because of how the fact that, well, obviously the rubber banding AI is one thing, and second is that if you're going at a high speed, especially noticeable in Ghost Valley 3, as well as Rainbow Road, you need to take yourself a little bit too easy on steering and acceleration, because most of your time, unless if you know what you're doing, you will be okay, but I highly suggest you not to utilize the mushroom item until you get close to the actual edge of the entire track. So as a result, just be very careful, because otherwise you will end up falling off multiple times. So, but yeah, that's how it goes basically. So, but actually, I'll get to my final thoughts of this game whenever we get onto the forms of, specifically whenever we finish up with this entire cup. So either way, or if we get into the forms of Rainbow Road in particular, though, then I can at least discuss that. So. But you know, you get the idea for that solution. So we got another extra one up right there, because then again, to get our first place 3 in a row, so either way, I'm not exactly sure if we can able to do that in Mario Kart Super Circuit, but then again, we'll find out for ourselves whenever we do that particular Let's Play at some form in the future. So, anyways, now we move on to Vanilla Lake 2. So yeah, that's as far as I can usually just decide to talk about this for the most part though. And it's also the good reason why that I'm going to be using Koopa Troopa for last for the final cup. Probably because of how the fact that I feel like the actual status of him is actually super good. Especially noticeable how that we actually did a pretty good flawless run during the forms of Ghost Valley 3. As a matter of fact, because I've no idea what it is, but I get a feeling that most of these players do have a hard time on Ghost Valley 3 for some reason, compared to the forms of the majority of this track, or the majority of Special Cup tracks as far as I'm aware. I don't know, I'm just a little bit convinced for myself, you know, so. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I can say when it comes to the forms of today for this topic, guys, because I know we're still pretty much bare bones in terms of news, updates, or anything like that. Well, apart from the fact that I like to, well, I've already mentioned about the forms of how the fact that the actual tracking of the best-selling units for the Nintendo Switch as of now. So either way though, because we're talking about the updated version, specifically, it's in at the final day of 2019, according to the actual record. So, at least as far as I can usually try to say about this at this point in time, so. And at this point in time, since how the fact that we're going to be moving on to the final track in this game, so either way, it doesn't really matter if I'm going to be going on to 4th, 2nd, or 3rd, or 1st as of lately, so we'll see what happens there during the forms of Rainbow Road. And of course, this will be the last time we're going to be coming across into the Thwomps in this game, because until Mario Kart 64 came around, the Thwomps will make its appearance in during the forms of Bowser Castle level. But then again, though, we'll point that out whenever we get into that Let's Play in particular. So, since after all we're now on to Rainbow Road right now, I think we should probably discuss upon my final thoughts of this game. Well, aside from it's a little bit difficult to me to explain about this, although let's get to the positive things to able to mention about the final thoughts of this. As far as this is a Super Nintendo title, it's very impressive when it comes to the visual standpoints, because apart from the fact that we got ourselves the 2D kind of sprites on characters, in addition with those kinds of stuff, that the entire tracks is almost like some sort of a revolutionary 3D kind of vibe to it, which is kind of impressive actually, but that's besides the point. And also, the soundtrack is pretty sweet stuff as well. Even though, because this is on 16-bit console, so at least the actual sound department has actually gone super sweet if you ask me. And also, during the forms of the gameplay, it looks very standard for the most part though. Well, aside from this is the first ever Mario Kart game to be able to sort of came out. And then apart from the fact that it's a little bit arcadic at points, which I probably should be able to point things out what my one of my negative things about this game compared to the forms of how it does in the future games, is that I feel like the controls in this game is kind of a mixed bag. Well, usually for steering and acceleration it's not too bad. But when it comes to drifting though, you have to be dead on with like trying to able to practice the forms of the drifting mechanics in this game, because unlike the future games, specifically Mario Kart 64, Double Dash, DS, Wii, 7, 8, 8 Deluxe, and recently Mario Kart Tour, that at least you can able to actually get ourselves a mini turbo drift. Whilst the forms of this game, as well as Super Circuit, the only time you can only utilize drift from is the fact that whenever you come across into tight curves and stuff like that. Seriously, what is up with Toad has always been in dead last anyway? I mean, I just felt sorry for that guy. Anyway though, so yeah, as you can see right there, we managed to claim a glorious gold trophy for the final cup in the entire game. So, obviously the message will still makes it pretty much exactly the same, so even then there's not much different for this point, so yeah, that's what I can say about it. So, and I suppose another thing I'd like to say about the negative things about this is the fact that I feel like, well, despite I usually quite impressed with the actual visual standpoints of this game offers us too, I will say is that the majority of the tracks in this game does feel a little bit too flat for my taste compared to the 3D environmental stuff, specifically in Mario Kart 64 in mind, and the future games throughout as well. But it might be also pretty much gonna be simplistic as it is, and also that you actually come across into several variations of the exact same environment of tracks from before, except with different stimulations and stuff like that. And well, usually this game does have 8 playable characters, which to be expected for the first game in the series. And I suppose the final negative thing I can say about this is the fact that I feel like the difficulty in this game is just ridiculous sometimes, especially in 150cc class. Even especially noticeable because most of these computer players does have some special items from themselves, which is alright I suppose, but then again, I just don't understand about the fact that why Luigi's Starman's invincibility just lasts for a very, very long time compared to my Starman's invincibility kind of thing doesn't seem to last for long. But apart from those side of things though, it still looks classic even to this day, but I will classify for saying this is not one of my favorite games in the entire Mario Kart series, I will have to admit though, to be honest with you, probably because this game, as far as the actual first game in the series, I just don't think this game's aged very well, because, well, most of the time, you just get a little bit wrecked up by computer players and all that stuff, but that's probably just me. Probably my second least favorite Mario Kart game, you know, my least favorite Mario Kart game will definitely have to be the most recent one, Mario Kart Tour, just because, you know what I mean, microtransactions, and also my game crashes once in a while from my downgraded phone, but that's how it is for me. So I guess that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen, for our Let's Play of Super Mario Kart. So this has been a quite pleasant surprise, and especially noticeable that I had some sort of a decent run through at best. So yeah, this is me, Mickey Mouse, from the likes of the Moxie Toys. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it I can say about it. You should definitely recommend this if you want to give this one a shot. It's also now available on the Nintendo Switch Online membership service now, so just want to let you guys know that. So join us next time for the Mario Kart retrospective-wise. Next up, we're going to be jump on to the next generation, which is the Nintendo 64 Mario Kart 64. So yeah, see you guys next time. I'll see you then. Bye.